All right, welcome everybody, and welcome to Reach and Read. We're so excited to have you here. My name is Katie, and I work at the Sacramento Public Library, where books are just the beginning. We're so happy to have you for this next session of Reach and Read, and to have local yoga instructor Kat Sun with us today. And we'll get to her in just a moment, but first I wanted to mention a few things, especially if it is your first time joining this session. So just a few housekeeping things. We are doing this in a webinar format, so all participant microphones and video have been disabled. So if you have a question or a comment that you'd like to share, please use the Q&A function that you'll find at the bottom of your screen, and either myself or Kat will get back to you. If you're having any audio related issues, please exit the program and re-enter. We find that doing that will typically solve that problem. If you need closed captioning at any point during the program, please click the live transcript button that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. You'll click that button, wait just a moment, and then you'll see the closed captioning pop up and you can follow along. And also, this program is being recorded and will be shared to the virtual yoga playlist that is available on our YouTube channel. And if you haven't visited it before, you can find us under Sacramento Public Library on YouTube. So go ahead and check us out over there. And make sure to stick around after the yoga demonstration for this week's question to help you take your friendships to the next level. I'm going to skip a couple of things here just in the interest of time. So I did just want to share that we have quite a few health resources available at the library. Like I mentioned, we have those past recordings of virtual yoga programs, and we've done everything from chair yoga to veterans yoga, body positive yoga. There's a really robust playlist available there that you can check out. We also do virtual Zumba on Mondays at 5:30 and virtual Zumba Gold on Wednesdays at 4. And Zumba Gold is great for beginners and older adults to join. So if you're looking for some exercise, that's a great one to join. We're also doing a series of journaling for mental health programs now through June, monthly, kind of at different branches throughout the Sacramento Public Library system. So if you're into art journaling, mindfulness practices, that's a really great one to join. And of course, you can check out a book about the benefits of exercise, mindfulness, and yoga from the library collection. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you and turn things over to Kat. So Kat, take it away, and everyone please enjoy.
Great. Thank you so much, Katie, and good morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. So as you all know, these yoga demonstrations are tied to a little book talk. In this series, we're working with the book Friendship, and today's question revolves around change. So we'll be weaving in little things of that throughout today's class. As always, I'm offering this from home, so please excuse any extraneous sounds you might hear with dogs and my father and neighbors. And then, as always, it's good to have some yoga props at home with you if you happen to have them. Obviously, your yoga mat. I always like to have a blanket and a couple of blocks and a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can always use a belt or a dog leash, a necktie, anything to help extend your reach. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. So this morning, let's start in a comfortable seat. So I like to sit up on a little folded blanket, or if you've got a nice firm cushion or anything you can sit up on. It's nice to just sit up on a little lift, and then you come to the front edge of that lift so that you can start to bring your low back in towards the spine rather than rounding back. So at the front edge of your support, and rock towards the front edge of your sit bones. As you do so, the low back naturally comes in, and then grounding down through the sit bones in order to lengthen up through the spine. As you ground down, feel that ability to rebound the energy, lifting up through the spine and reaching the crown of the head up for the sky. The low back is coming in, and then maybe let's take a big shoulder circle. So shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let's just do a couple more of those. Get a little movement through the shoulders. Just notice how are things feeling this morning. The next time those shoulders go back and down, let's keep the shoulder blade sliding down the back body. Feel the buttock flesh sliding down into the earth as well. And then in the front body, gently hug your navel in and up a little. Let your collarbones broaden and the heart is buoyant. And then the kidney band, this mid-back region, can you kind of inflate the kidney band in the back body a little? And hands can rest on the thighs. You can have your palms down or palms up. And just take a moment to arrive here. Feel the sides of the throat now slide back and then up behind the ears as you telescope the back of the neck, back of the skull up towards the sky. The chin ever so slightly lowers just a little bit while the heart stays buoyant. And then closing down your eyes if you're comfortable. Otherwise, you can just keep your eyes soft, maybe a soft gaze. Let your mouth relax. You might even like to gently open your mouth a little and wiggle out your jaw, stretch out your tongue, stretch out your face. And then as your mouth gently closes, the tip of the tongue can rest at the top of the palate if that's comfortable without creating strain. Just taking a moment to arrive here into this foundational pose. So as you settle in, again, feel the solidity of the earth underneath you. And then feel the expansiveness of the sky above you. Take a moment now to notice your breath. Just checking out the quality of the breath this morning. As you continue to breathe, just notice that slight expansion of the inhalation and the slight contraction of the exhalation. As you tune into your breath without any effort to change it, you might notice it already naturally beginning to shift. Perhaps it starts to become a little more rhythmic, more spacious, more elongated, whatever it is. Just noticing the continual flux, the continual expansion and contraction. Everything is continually shifting and changing. Just riding the wave. We are not always able to control those external circumstances that surround us, but we can always bring awareness inwards, connect in with our breath, and as we connect in with our breath, we begin to shift our inner state. So in the midst of change, coming back to your breath, coming back to your inner awareness. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's go ahead. With your next inhale, sweep your arms out and up overhead. And then like you're French pressing, let the palms face downwards, exhaling, press it down through your center channel. And all the way at the bottom of that exhale, just touch the earth, ground it down. And again, with your next inhale, palms up, sweep up, gather. And as you exhale, like a French press, pressing it down, all the way down through you, grounding into earth again. One more time. Inhale. Exhaling. Good. Next inhale, palms can touch at the top. And as you exhale, let's bring those hands down in front of the heart center. As the palms gently press into each other, the shoulder blades slide down the back body. Your thumbs might gently press against your sternum. And now just take a beat to connect into this heart center. Again, if you like, you can gently close your eyes or just tuning inwards. Notice how you're feeling in your mental, emotional body, how you're feeling in your heart center. If there's a dedication or an intention you'd like to offer or set, or be just tuning in for any inner messages. When you're ready, you can gently bow the head to the heart. Again, let's release the hands, sweep them out and up with the inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to spin to the right as both hands come down. We're going to pulse up and down a few times. So inhale, come back up through center. And exhale, turn to the other side as you let those arms come back down, side to side, coming through center. And exhale back to your first side. Inhale up. And exhale to the second side. This time, inhale up. And as you exhale, spin to the right, bringing both hands down. So now right hand is behind you. Excuse me. Left hand can be on the floor in front of you. Or if you have the range, you can bring that left hand towards the right knee. With your first inhale, use it to ground and lengthen again. Bring the low back in. Shoulder blades down, heart buoyant. And then it's with the exhale that we start to spin around the axis of the spine. So sliding the navel back, the diaphragm, the chest, then the neck, the head, the gaze back. With each inhale, think about grounding and lengthening. And then with the exhale, just see if there's the invitation to twist a little bit more. Take another breath in here. And now as you exhale, just the neck, the head, and the gaze are going to spin to look forward. The body is still spinning to the right, but now the neck, the head, and the gaze are spinning to look over your left shoulder. And take a breath here. Breathe into the expansiveness in that right chest. And exhaling, let's release. Inhale, arms out and up again. Exhale, let's spin to the left. So now left hand is behind you on the floor, or use a block or something. And then right hand is on the floor in front of you, or maybe you can reach for the left knee. Again, first breath in to ground and lengthen. Arch the low back gently in. Shoulder blades down. Heart is buoyant. As you exhale, now start to twist towards the left. Again, around the axis of the spine. Navel back, diaphragm back, chest back, neck, head, gaze back. And take a few rounds of breath here. Each breath in is an opportunity to ground and lengthen. And with each exhale, you just listen, tune in to whether or not there's room to twist a little bit deeper. Take another breath in here. And with your next exhale, again, just the neck, the head, the gaze, spin to look over your front right shoulder. Breathe into the left side of your neck. Breathe into the expansiveness of that left chest. Another breath in here. And exhaling, let's go ahead and gently unwind. Again, inhale, arms out and up. Keep the right hand lifted. Bring the left fingertips down. Ground down through the right sit bone as you reach tall with the right arm. But then shrug the right shoulder blade down the back. So don't wear that shoulder as an earring. Keep the shoulder sliding down. Keep grounded in the right sit bone. And with the exhale, we're going to tip it to the left. So really ground down through the right sit bone. And from the grounding, feel that ability then to really reach and lengthen through that right arm. Reaching that right hand for the left. Breathe into the right side of your body. Imagine you're fanning open your right ribs. Breathing into those intercostal muscles in between the ribs. One more breath in here. Exhaling out. And with our next inhale, we're bringing both hands back up through center. Keep your left hand lifted. As you exhale, right hand comes down. Now ground down through the left sit bone as you reach with the left arm. But then can you shrug the left shoulder blade back down the back body? Stay grounded and lengthened on this left side. And then exhaling, we're going to tip it to the right. So again, really stay grounded through the left sit bone. And from the grounding, feel that ability to lengthen and reach for the right. So now we're fanning open the left ribs. Breathing space into those muscles in between the left ribs. Another breath in. And exhale it out. Again, it's with the inhale. We bring everything back up to center. Keep your right hand lifted again. Bring the left fingertips down. This time, walk your left fingertips away. Get nice and long through that left arm. Or if you're seated in a chair, you can just point the hand down and away. And we're going to bend the right elbow as we bring the right hand to the left side of the head. Continue to look straight forward, but we're going to tilt the head now gently to the right, bringing your right ear towards the right shoulder. You're in control of how deep you go, so listen to the body. Really tune into the feeling. That's how the body communicates with us. So tuning in to what you feel and honoring where you're at this morning. Again, every day is different. Everything is in continual flux and change. Good. Maybe you want to walk the left fingertips away a little bit more as you continue to breathe here. Just one more round of breath. Now everything's going to stay the same. You're just going to take the right hand off the head and bring it to the right side of your face. And use your right hand to help your head up. Bring it back to a neutral spine. Let's go ahead, take a big shoulder circle again. And with the inhale, both arms out and up. This time, keep your left arm lifted. As you exhale, bring the right hand down. Walk the right fingertips away. Get nice and long through the right arm. And then we're going to bend that left elbow. Left hand to the right side of your head. And as you exhale, gently tip your head to the left. So bringing the left ear now towards the shoulder, and maybe again, walk the right fingertips away. Breathe into that line of energy from the ear, down the side of the neck, down the length of the arm, into the fingertips, down into the ear. And everything just stays as it is. You're simply going to take the left hand off the head, bring it to the left side of your face, and help your head up. Good. And then both hands down. Again, big shoulder circle. Okay, we're going to plant the hands behind us as we bring both feet onto the floor with the knees pointing up to the sky. And then just windshield wiper your knees a little side to side. We're coming back to cross-legged position, but now bring your other leg in front so it'll feel a little more awkward. It's the atypical cross. And then again, reestablish your foundation. So rock to the front edge of your sit bones, grounding down as you lengthen up. Establish low back in, shoulder blades, buttock flesh slide down, navel gently in and up, heart buoyant, and then again, broaden through the kidney band in the back body. From here, let's go ahead and just do a little bit of spiraling. So start to circle your torso over your sit bones. You can make that spiraling, circling action as small or as big as you like. Just make sure you're breathing. And then slowly, you're going to start to make that circling action a little more quiet. So smaller and smaller, back towards the center, until finally you find that still point. And then we're going to take it in the other direction. Start to circle it in the other direction. Again, you can spiral out if you like, or you can keep it nice and small. Whatever feels good in your body this morning. Maybe it's different from one side to the other. And then again, slowly, we're going to bring it back towards the center point. So smaller and smaller circles around the center axis until again you find a still point. From here, with our next inhale, let's rock forward, bring our heart forward, shoulder blades come towards each other, look up, exhale, round back, tuck that tailbone forward, chin towards the chest, inflate the back body. So inhaling, we're arching forward, and exhaling, we're rounding back. So it's like cat-cow, except we're doing it seated. So as you inhale forward, you feel the expansiveness in the front body and feel the contraction in the back. As you exhale and you round back, the back body expands as the front body contracts. So just riding that wave, feeling those opposites moving together. Next time we inhale forward, we're adding the arms. So open the heart wings, really shine forward. As you exhale, give yourself a big hug in. Inhale, pulse open. Exhale, other arm on top as you hug it in. So flapping open and close those heart wings with the ebb and flow of your breath. A few more times. Now the next time you inhale, open. Keep your spine nice and tall, and exhaling, just bring your right arm on top of your left as you hug it in. But keep your spine in neutral, nice and tall now. And then see if you can walk your hands back, like towards the center of the shoulder blades, inner edges of the shoulder blades. You're walking the hands towards the spine. And just breathe here. Now, can you shrug your shoulder blades down the back body? And as best you can, you're seeing if you can get your elbows to cross the midline. So both elbows cross the midline. If it doesn't get there, that's okay. You just continue to breathe here. And then from here, we're going to take the bottom arm and we're going to slide that bottom hand along the outside of the upper arm of the top arm. And then the top arm, you can straighten it out. Excuse me. Again, shrug your shoulder blades down the back body. Stay nice and tall through your spine. And now, keep your spine nice and tall. Keep your orientation forward. But you can use the bottom arm as a hook as you start to slide that upper arm across your chest. Just breathing here. And then from here, last option is you can look over the shoulder of that top arm that's going across your chest. So I'm demoing like with our right arm on top. So you turn and look over your right shoulder. And then let's go ahead and gently release that. A big shoulder circle. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhaling, keep the spine tall now. Left arm on top as you wrap the arms in. And then again, just walk your hands towards the spine behind you. Shrug your shoulder blades down the back body. From here, the bottom right hand is going to slide across the upper left arm. We're going to straighten the left arm out. Once you get that set up again, can you shrug your shoulder blades down the back body? And then maybe using the right arm as a hook, you start to slide it across to bring the left arm across towards the right while keeping your spine, keeping your torso facing straight forward. And the last option is to turn your head to the left over that left shoulder. And then we'll go ahead and gently release. Again, big shoulder circle. From here, let's make some fists with our hands and let's circle out those wrists. And circle them the other way. Good. And now let's shake out the hands. Keep shaking out your hands, but turn your palms up. Keep shaking out the hands with the palms up, but shake out your elbows too. And then keep all of that. Now, can you also lift your shoulders up and down a little? Yeah, and then just kind of shake the whole thing out. Wag your tail, shake out your head. All right. And then we're going to interlace the fingers in front of us. And we're going to circle, we're going to make figure eights with the wrists. So sometimes I see people doing this with the elbows. So try to keep your elbows just where they are and just keep the motion in the wrists. And make figure eights with the wrists. And then whenever you're ready, take it in the other direction. So it's the less obvious direction. And then pause. Change. So you change it so the other thumb is on top. Clasp the hands the other way. And again, figure eights. And whenever you're ready, change the direction of that. Good. Now back to original cross. So the comfortable cross. And we're going to press the palms away from us, right out in front of us. And can you press out through the index finger mound a little bit faster than the pinky side of the hand? So it's almost like you want to pull the pinky side of the hand towards you. And then can you face the elbow, the eyes of the elbows towards each other? Shrug the shoulder blades down here, ground down through the sit bones, nice and tall through the spine. And then hugging those elbows in towards each other. Keep your shoulders moving down the back body. Keep inflating the back kidney band. We're going to inhale, pressing down through the sit bones to press our arms up overhead. And again, grounding down, lengthen up. Shoulder blades slide down the body. Don't let those shoulders creep up towards your ears. Grounding down, pressing up. Breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to tip it gently to the left. And back up through center. And exhale, tip it gently to the right. Back up through center. Exhale, release. Bring those arms down. Big shoulder circle. And clasp your fingers, other thumb on top. So second side. Again, press your palms away from you, straight out in front of you. Shrug your shoulder blades down the back body. Ground down through the sit bones. Lengthen up through the spine, nice and tall. Keep the shoulder blades moving down the back body, pressing out through the index finger side of the hand faster than the pinky side. Have the eyes of the elbows face each other. And then again, can you hug the elbows in towards each other a little? Keep the groundedness and tall length through the spine, broaden through the kidney band in the back body. And again, inhale, press your hands up. Grounding down as you lengthen up, but keep the shoulders still sliding down the back body. Remember to breathe. Take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to tip it gently to the right. Inhale up through center. Exhale, tip it to the left. Inhale back up, and exhaling again, release. Big shoulder circle again. Okay, from here, we're coming onto hands and knees. So if you have delicate knees, it's good to maybe have a little extra padding. I often see people use those little gardening pads for the knees. If you have one of those, that's good. Otherwise, maybe a blanket that's opened up just for a little bit more cushion for the knees if you need them, okay? And then for the hands, if you're able to open the palms and plant the palms down, you're going to focus on grounding the ball of the index finger first and then the thumb out. You're going to ground the 2 inner points of the hand before the rest of the hand. For those where this is not appropriate for your wrist, you can make fist and put the knuckles down on the floor instead, keeping this nice line of energy here. So listen to your body and honor where it's at. Either way, we're stacking the shoulders over the wrist and the hips over the knees. And again, if you've got the palms down, ground the inner ball of the index finger and thumb. Then spread the palms and get the rest of the hand grounded too. And then think about like you want to spin your hands in towards each other. They don't move, but it's as if you want to spin your hands in towards each other. But then your upper arms, spin them away from each other. So the counter rotations create stability. Now let's inhale as we broaden the sit bones. We let the sit bones slide up. As you let your belly hammock down, can you keep your navel moving up towards the spine? Shoulder blades move towards the hips as your heart comes forward and gaze up. Exhaling, reverse. Tailbone down, kidneys inflate, chin towards the chest, crown of the head towards the floor. So pulsing with your breath, undulating that spine with the ebb and flow of your breath. So we did this action earlier, seated, and now we're doing it in all fours. You can continue to oscillate in and out of this simple cat-cow straight through, or for those who would like to add a little more organic movement, you can start to circle your hips over your knees as you continue to cat-cow. So if you're circling the hips, then you're gonna let your head and your neck move as you like. And if you are circling the hip, then generally I find it's, I arch into cow as I send my hips back, and I round into cat as I bring my chest forward. So, but you don't overthink it, you just kind of let the movement do its thing. If you are circling, just go ahead and start to circle it in the other direction when you're ready. And for those of you who are just going straight up and down, then continue a few rounds more. Okay, and then we're all gonna bring it to neutral spine. From here, you might wanna walk your knees back a little bit and let your hips come down so that your thigh and torso become one line. So we're gonna hold half plank for a moment. So here, make sure your hips are dropping enough so you're not with your butt up in the air, but your hips are dropping enough so that your thighs and your torso are one nice long line like a plank. Think about sending your tailbone down towards the floor, but the inner thighs of your upper legs are rolling up towards the sky. Your navel's hugging up towards the spine, and your sternum is moving up into the shoulder blades. Nice and long through the back of the neck, back of the skull. So from the tip of the tailbone through the crown of the head, nice long line. One more breath here. And then as we exhale, we're gonna slowly lower all the way to the floor. Hands stay by the heart on the floor. Toenails are on the floor. Can you press your toenails down into the floor now to activate the legs? As you activate the legs, the kneecaps might come off the floor, and then hug the outer ankles in towards each other slightly. Lengthen your tailbone long towards the floor. Press your front pubic bone into the floor. Shrug your shoulder blades down the back body and start to lift your heart. Keep the back of the neck long. So we're coming into this mini cobra. Back of the neck stays long, gaze is down and slightly forward, and breathe here. And then can you just come up a little bit higher? And again, take a breath. Keep those shoulder blades moving down the back body, nice and long through the back of the neck. Exhale all the way down. We're coming into mini cobra again. So when you're ready, again, reestablish those legs. Press the toenails down, activate the legs, lengthen your tailbone long, keep your low back long, shrug the shoulder blades down the back to lift the heart. And again, exhale, bring it down. This time, same thing, reactivate. And rising up with the inhale. Notice the height of your heart, and can you keep the height of the heart, but lift your hands half an inch off the floor. So now you're holding this height without the hands. And then without the hands, if you have the ability to lift just a little bit higher. And breathe here. Exhale, bring it back down. Press down through your hands. We're going to come back up into hands and knees. This time, you're going to keep your hips stacked over your knees and maybe walk your hands forward, coming into downward dog arms. Again, ground the ball of the index finger and thumb as you let your head come between the upper arms. So it's like downward dog arms. And you can keep it here, or for those of you who can, you can bring the big toes together, knees a little further apart as you start to sink your hips towards your heels, coming into child's pose. If you're coming to child's pose, it's nice to get your forehead grounded, so use a block if you can. You can also have something underneath your sternum here if you're really high up. And now breathe into the back body. Imagine you're breathing into the back. Notice where you feel the breath. And from here, let's come back up onto hands and knees. We're going to stretch the right leg back. Keep the ball of the right foot grounded on the floor. So right toes are curled under and ball of the right foot still connected to the floor. But we're straightening through the leg by pressing out through the heel and lifting up through that inner thigh. Hug the navel up, so even though here, try not to let your belly just collapse. So keep hugging the navel up. And then breathing into the back of the knee, back of the ankle. Maybe you can even scoot your ball of the foot back a little bit more to really stack the heel over the ball of the foot and get more of a stretch through the sole of the foot. From here, we're taking the right foot towards the left. So cross the midline off to the left. If you're using a normal size yoga mat, it might come off the mat there. Keep the ball of it still grounded, and then look over your left shoulder at your right foot. And again, breathe into the right seam of your body. We'll bring the whole thing back in line. Again, one more time, press out through the heel. Now keep your hips square to the floor. Keep pressing out through the heel. Keep the foot lightly flexed as you start to lift the foot in line with the hip. Again, hug your navel in and up, sternum up. Don't collapse through the torso. Now really press out through the heel and through the crown of the head. Take a breath in and exhale. We're just going to hug that knee in towards the nose. So curl it in as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen long. Again, exhale, curl it in. Inhale, lengthen long. Last one, exhale, curl it in. Inhale, lengthen, pause, hug everything back up. And exhale, let's release that right leg down. So here you can take a cat-cow to wash it through. You can also take a moment to come off your wrists and shake out the hands if you need. And then whenever you're ready, we're coming back onto hands and knees and tabletop. This time, keeping your right knee down, you're going to stretch your left leg back. Again, ball of the foot stays grounded. So toes are curled under. And here, really press out through the heel as you lift up through that inner left thigh. Imagine the inner left thigh is rotating up towards the sky. Navel hugs up to the spine, sternum up into the shoulders. And then again, maybe you can creep the ball of that foot back a little bit more, really stack it underneath the heel, get a little more stretch through the sole of the foot. And from here, we're going to cross the midline, so left foot crosses over to the right. Keep the ball of the foot still grounded on the floor. You're still reaching out through the heel. And then look over your right shoulder at the left foot. And breathe into the left seam of your body. When you're ready, bring it back in line with its own hip. Everything squares up. Again, keep your hips square to the floor. Hug everything up. And pressing out through the left heel. Lifting up through the inner thigh. Keep the left foot flexed as you lift the foot up. And then like a pointer dog, really lengthen through the heel and lengthen through the crown of the head. Breathe in. And then exhaling knee to nose, curl it in. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, curl it in. One more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl it in. Lengthening out long, pausing here, and exhale, bring it back down. Good. And then again, take a moment, maybe come off your wrist, shake it out. Okay, one more thing here on this tabletop variation. So back onto hands and knees. This time, you're gonna keep your left hand grounded as you lift the right arm out to the right. Open your right chest to the right. We're gonna pulse 3 times. So exhale, slide the right hand underneath the left arm, but keep it off the floor. Just reach it across. And again, inhale, open to the right. Exhale, slide the hand through underneath the left, keeping it off the floor. Last one, inhale. This time you're gonna let the back of the right hand land, like taxi away from you as it lands onto the floor. So now the back of the right hand is sliding away from you on the floor, palm is up, and then you come onto your right shoulder and right side of the head. You can keep it just like this, just keep reaching the right hand towards the left. You might wanna bring your left hand a little bit closer towards the right arm, so that when you press the left palm, the elbow can stack over the wrist. So this is the first variation. Next option, next variation. So I'm gonna offer different variations and you're gonna take what's right for you this morning. Next variation is to actually take your left hand and walk it up towards the top of the mat. And then towards the other side, the right side of the mat. So the hand starts to go behind you. If you're coming into this variation, you're definitely going to want to start to roll more towards the back of the head so that you don't crunch the side of your neck. Another variation is to straighten your left leg, but keep the ball of the foot grounded if you're straightening that left leg. So again, if the left leg is long, you're pressing out through the heel and lifting up through the inner thigh. And then last option is to actually bring your left foot out to the left side. Keep the whole sole of the foot grounded if you're coming into this option. And here, you're definitely rolling more towards the back of the skull rather than jamming the side of your neck. And then if it's an easy clasp, your right hand can reach for the left ankle there as you spin. So take the variation that works for you this morning. One more breath, whichever variation you're in. And then as we exhale, we're gonna, again, unwind, coming on out. Find yourself in tabletop and take a cat-cow. Wash it through. And then we're going to come into the second side. So now keeping your right hand grounded. Inhale your left arm out to the left. Exhale, slide that hand through underneath the right. Keep it off the floor. Reach to the right. Inhale again. Open the left arm out to the left. Shine your chest out to the left. Exhale. Bring it through. Last time. This time we're going to inhale, open, and as you exhale, the back of the left hand is going to touch the floor as it taxis away from you, sliding that left hand away from you with the palm up. Keep reaching the left hand away, and you're coming onto the left shoulder, left side of the head. So keeping it here is a good option. You can also slide that right hand down towards you a little bit more. So as you press the right hand into the earth, the elbow stacks over the wrist. Next option is to walk that right hand towards the top of the mat and then back behind you to the left side of the mat. For those of you using a standard mat, if you're able to get your hand back there, you can maybe even clasp the outer edge of the mat there. Okay, and the next option is to straighten your right leg, in which case keep the ball of the foot grounded. And then again, you're pressing out through the heel and lifting up through the inner thigh. And last option is to actually bring the right foot off to the right side, in which case keep the sole of the foot grounded, outer edge of the foot grounded, and then maybe you can reach for that ankle as you spin more towards the back of the skull so you don't jam the side of your neck. And breathe here. From here, we're all going to unwind, coming on out. And let's go ahead and take a cat-cow. Okay. Now, back on hands and knees. We're going to just step our right leg through. So here is, if you have yoga blocks and you want to use them, you can have your yoga blocks on tower sittings on either side for support. Whether you have blocks or not, stack your right knee over your right ankle. So if your right knee is jutting way ahead of the foot, then you need to walk your foot forward. And if your right knee is way behind the foot, then you need to walk your foot in a little bit so that the knee and the ankle can stack. And then start to scissor the legs towards each other, as if you had magnets on the inner thighs and they want to come towards each other, even though the legs are asymmetrical. As you scissor the legs, you'll feel everything kind of engage. And then lengthen your tailbone long. If you feel steady here, you might be able to bring your hands up onto your thighs. If that's not appropriate, then you can keep your hands down or on your blocks, right? So any variation is good. If you're able to keep your hands, you bring your hands to your thighs, then you can really lengthen up through the spine. And then again, scissor the legs, lengthen the tail, shoulder blades down the back body. Navel gently in and up, heart is buoyant, collarbones broad. But then again, breathe into this back band of the kidneys back here so that the floaty ribs aren't poking out and we're not compressing the mid-back area. Okay, so staying here is a good option if you're working with your balance. Otherwise, if it's available, you can bring your hands down. And then we're going to interlace our fingers. If you're moving on with me, you can interlace your fingers and clasp behind the skull. So now open the elbows nice and wide and use the cup of the hands to lift the base of the skull so the back of the neck stays nice and long. As you do so, start to press the back of the head towards the hands and vice versa, like you're pressing your head into a headrest. And the head is starting to win a little bit, so you start to pivot your heart up towards the sky. But remember, keep breathing into the kidney band of the back body. Don't collapse in that back. Keep the tailbone long. Keeping it here is good. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Only if you're able to keep the back of the neck long, then you take your arms up if you like and reach up. Breathe. And then from here, exhale, bring both hands down. We're going to bring our hands onto the thigh, all 10 fingers pointing out. And then you can use that like as a little lever as you spin to look to the right. Shoulder blades stay down the back body as you look to the right, taking a twist here. Now, if it's appropriate, you can open your arms, palms facing the right with the thumbs pointing up, shoulder blades sliding down the back body. Oops. And then let's all bring the arms back forward and up if you like. As we exhale, we're going to bring our hands down and we're going to step the right foot back. Take a cat-cow or any kind of transition that you like. And then when you're ready, step your left leg through between the hands. Again, stack it so the left knee stacks over the right ankle. And then once you get that alignment, start to scissor those legs towards each other. Inner thighs hugging in towards each other. Lengthen the tailbone long. And then coming up on a little lift of some sort if you're able, or bringing your hands onto your thighs if you feel steady enough to do so. Once you rise, again, scissor those legs, lengthen the tail, shoulder blades down the back body. From here, if you feel steady, you can release your hands down for a moment and see how that is. If you're steady here, you can interlace your fingers, take the other thumb on top, interlace the fingers, and again, let's go ahead and clasp behind the skull. So, cupping the base of the skull with the hands, open those elbows wide, scissor the legs, lengthen the tail, navel in and up. And then broaden the back kidney band again. Collarbones broad, heart is buoyant. Start to press your head into your hands and vice versa, and let your head begin to win as you lean back a little bit into a bit of a back bend. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long, breathing here. And again, only if you're able to maintain this nice length through the back of the neck do you release your arms. Take a breath in. And from here, again, bring both arms down. Bring your hands onto your thighs with all 10 fingers pointing out. So again, use your thigh as a bit of a lever. Start to spin yourself to look to the left. Shoulder blades down. Keeping it here is good, or if you feel stable, you can open your arms wide, palms facing the left, thumbs pointing up. Again, shoulder blades down the back body, navel spinning towards the left. And then everybody, let's spin back forward. You can bring your arms up if you feel steady. And exhale, let's all bring the hands back down. And then again, step your knee back, take a cat-cow. And from here, let's again press back either into puppy pose, this pose here, with the arms in a downward dog and the hips stacked over the knees, or you can slide your hips back towards the heels in child's pose and take a beat. Okay. And then from here, let's inhale to come back up onto hands and knees. Again, slide your hips forward, shoulders stack over the wrists, coming into our half plank. For those of you who have it in your practice and you want to come into full plank, you're welcome to curl your toes under and lift the knees. Either way though, torso and thighs are in one nice long line, everything hugging up, except the tailbone is hugging down, is pointing down. Everything else is hugging up. Inner thighs hug up, navel hugs up into the spine, sternum hugs up into the shoulder blades. Nice long line from tip of the tail through crown of the head. One more breath in plank. And again, exhaling, lowering. Keep your elbows hugging in as you slowly lower all the way to the floor. Forehead down. This time, bring your hands to either side of the body. Toenails on the floor. We're coming into locust pose. So press your toenails down into the floor. As you do so, legs are active, kneecaps come off the floor. Inner thighs roll up towards the sky, outer ankles hug in, tailbone down towards the floor. Maintain that dynamic neutral through the legs. And then when you're ready, let's shrug the shoulder blades down the back body to start to lift the heart. Back of the neck stays long, gazes forward and down. You're welcome to keep both hands on the floor, or maybe you can let the hands fly off the floor a little. You can keep both feet on the floor, or you might want to lift the feet as well. Wherever you're at, see if you can lift just a little bit higher, breathe. And then a little bit higher yet. And remember to breathe. Notice how is the breath here. And then slowly, like a parachute landing, exhaling, slowly, slowly, bring yourself back to the floor and turn your head to one side. Just take a deep breath in and a cleansing sigh out. And then drop all effort. And just allow yourself to steep in this. See how quickly can you drop the effort. Feel the support of the earth. Feel your whole front body being supported by the earth. We're going to come into Shalabhasana one more time, locust pose one more time. So when you're ready, forehead down, you can do what we just did a moment ago, or if it's within your range and you want to clasp your hands behind the back, you can do so. Same action in the legs. So press the toenails into the earth, activate your legs, inner thighs rolling up, outer ankles hugging in, tailbone lengthened down towards the floor. So you're pressing the front of the pubic bone down into the earth, shrug your shoulder blades down the back, and start to lift your heart off the floor. If you have the hand clasp, you can lift the hands off the butt there, up into the air. Keep the back of the neck long, keep your gaze down and slightly forward. And then option to add the legs if you like. And again, wherever you're at, remember to breathe. And then if you're ready, see if you can find just a little more height. And breathe. And a little more height again. And breathe. With your next exhale, again, nice and slow, like a parachute landing. Slowly, slowly coming back to the floor. If you have the hand clasp, release it so the hands can rest. Turn your head in the second direction. And again, allow yourself to settle into the support. Big breath in, big sigh, clear it out. And just allow yourself to melt into that support. What does it feel like when there's nothing you need to do? Just allow yourself to be. Feel your breath as it moves in and out. Okay, and then we're just gonna bend the knees, feet in the air, And windshield wiper your feet a little side to side here. And then from here, we're gonna roll onto our back. So just go ahead and roll right over onto your back, arriving onto our backs now with the knees bent, feet on the floor. And on our backs, let's go ahead and hug our knees into our chest and just rock a little bit side to side now. Massage your back into the floor. Notice what's here. Maybe you feel a little stretch in those outer hips. And then we split the knees apart and hug them in towards our armpits. So let the knees come away from each other as wide as is comfortable and hug them in towards the armpits. And again, rock a little side to side. You can keep it just like this. Or for those who have happy baby in their practice and want to take it, you can point the soles of the feet up to the sky. Shins are more or less perpendicular to the floor, and you clasp, maybe it's behind the thighs, behind the knees, outer shins, outer ankles, or outer edges of the feet. It really doesn't matter where you clasp, but make sure your shoulders stay relaxed on the floor, back of the neck stays nice and long, and you're not like reaching up with your chin jutting above your forehead in order to reach higher, right? Because that sends this a message to the nervous system that you're not safe when you've got this kind of thing going on here. So make sure shoulders are nicely resting on the floor, chin is at the same level or lower than the forehead, and you clasp wherever you can as you gently rock side to side. And then from here, we're going to bring both feet down. And let's just take a gentle, quick twist before taking a moment to rest. So any twist that you like or any other finishing pose you like, I'm going to lead a very simple twist. So feet on the floor, we're going to press the feet down to lift the hips. Scoot your hips just an inch or two to the left, and then bring it back down, and then hug your knees in towards your chest and let your knees rock to the right. Arms stay open in a T, palms up. And then as your knees spin to the right, spin your navel and your chest to the left. You can see what it feels like to turn your head to the right, away from that left hand behind you. You can spin your gaze up to neutral, or you can spin your gaze to look back at the left hand. And then bring your gaze back up to neutral. We're gonna unwind out of this. So bringing yourself back onto your back with the knees pointing up to the sky, and square your hips. Once you're squared, we're coming into the second side. So again, press the feet down to lift the hips and scoot your hips an inch or two to the right, and then set it back down. From there, take your feet off the floor, hug your knees in towards you, and then let the knees drop to the left. Keeping your arms still wide open into this T with the palms up. As your knees move to the left, you can spin your navel, your chest to the right. For those of you where if your knees don't come all the way down, but you've got something there to support you, you can always use like some pillows, folded blanket. If you've got blocks, you can have blocks there, or sometimes people use some furniture. And again, allowing yourself just to take a moment in this supine twist. You can see what it feels like to spin your head to the left now, same direction as the knees. And then spin your head up to neutral, and then spin to look back at your right hand behind you. And then from here, gaze back up to neutral as we unwind, coming back onto our back. Square your hips. Last time, hug the knees in, gently rock a little side to side. And then set yourself up for your final resting pose. So that might just be laying nice and straight, with your legs straight, arms out to the sides, palms up, let the feet roll away from each other. If you've got low back stuff, it's nice to have something underneath your knees to help lift the knees a little bit to release any pressure in the back. Or if you don't have anything nearby, you can always just keep your knees bent, feet on the floor, walk your feet out a little bit wider so the knees can knock in to support each other. And for those of you with your palms up, arms out to the side, and your hands are hovering off the floor, then go ahead and spin your palms down onto your body instead. And then just take a beat. Soften your mouth, relax your tongue, relax your eyes. release your breath control now. So feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. Whenever you're ready, you can gently hug the knees in and roll off to one side in order to press on up. But stay in this pose for as long as you like. And I'm going to turn things back over to Katie. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Kat, for another wonderful session. That was really great. Well, did you know that having strong friendships is beneficial to your health? Having friends can lower your stress and decrease your risk of heart issues. This series of Reach and Read is focused on self-love, compassion, and openness to help grow your skills to be a better friend. We're using the book Share Your Stuff, I'll Go First, 10 Questions to Take Your Friendships to the Next Level by Laura Tremaine as a guide. The next question posed in this book is, when did it change? Some events are so transformational that if you were to look back at a map of your life, you would see sharp turns where they took place. Sometimes life changes because of a traumatic event, a death, a divorce, a natural disaster, or you were fired from your job. Other times, it's a little thing that pokes at you every day until you decide to make a change. Whether big or little, we have reasons throughout our lives that necessitate a change. You can feel when the tides begin to change in yourself and life shifts course. You may go into it knowing that the ground beneath you will shift, or you go into it not knowing the full impact the change will have on your life. Either way, you still know that you need to make the change. Recount the times when your life took a detour. You may say, I used to be something else and now I'm this. Or I didn't realize how bad it was until it got better. Or I never looked at him, her, them, it the same way again as prompts to identify when things transformed. So, when did it change? Thank you again for joining us for Reach and Read, and a big thank you to Kat. We'll be back on Thursday, March 2nd at 10 a.m., so we hope to see you then. So to find a library location near you, sign up for a library card, or learn about upcoming programs for all ages, just go to www.saclibrary.org. And for Kat, myself, and the Sacramento Public Library, thank you so much and be well. Bye!